What is up, guys? Your agent Tyler Wayrung here, and today I'm going to be talking about my two favorite business credit cards that I use to start up our real estate investing, more specifically our flipping business, right? So when you get into flipping houses, the cash conversion cycle, or the time that you put money out compared to the time that you get that money back, is typically pretty long. For us, it's anywhere from 3 to 5 months on average, because it's the time you purchase that house, you're buying all the materials to fix it up, you have to get it ready to sell, list it for sale, find a buyer. Then it usually takes 30 days from that point to close on the property and get that wired funds back in. So if you're wanting to start your own house flipping business, you do need to have, for sure, you need to have some business credit. You for sure need to have some of your own liquid funds available too. You cannot just rely on credit and other people's money, or OPM, like you might hear some gurus or clowns talk about on the internet. And you can have access to some lines of credit, some capital otherwhere as well, but business credit is going to be a big helping factor when you are buying those. So this is exactly the two cards that I use to get our business up and running. I don't have any affiliates, or I don't get anything if you decide to use these, or if you don't. Just sharing exactly what we did and what worked well for us when we found these two cards. So let's jump over to my screen and talk about the first card that we opened up to start our real estate investing business, and that is the Chase Ink Business Unlimited card. Okay, we did have a Chase business account set up already, so it was kind of pretty simple to go ahead and make that switch and to find this card. However, I want to talk about some of the reasons why you might consider this as well if you are starting a flipping business yourself. Okay, so a couple quick things. There is no annual fee. That is one thing that, sometimes it can pay to have an annual fee if you get a lot of good benefits from it. But for this one, if you're just starting out, no annual fees, obviously a plus. And then when it comes down to some of the rewards you get, after you spend $6,000 over your first 3 months, you get $900 cash back. So you're going to spend $6,000 probably in your first week that you own a property. So that should be no concern hitting that fee and getting a free $900. But again, it's $900. It's not the reason why you want to check this out. The big reason why I think this card is great for a house flipping beginner is the 0% interest for the first 12 months that you open the account. So what that means is you could put something on the account, let that literally sit there for 12 months. I don't recommend this, but I'm just, for example's purposes, you could let that sit there for 12 months and you would get 0 interest charged for using that credit, right? And so since we talked about the long cash conversion cycle, or the time that you put money out to buy a property before that comes back in, this can be very helpful. You can rack up and build up a large portion of your rehab budget on this card and not have to worry about those monthly interest statements or paying that balance off every month like you typically would elsewhere, right? So that's why we found this, and we did load this card up first before we went on to the next card. We kind of let that sit there until our first property sold, and then we went ahead and paid that back off and did that same rinse and repeat process there again. But unfortunately, we got up to 6 houses at once. We scaled pretty quickly in our business, so this card was not enough. And for the next reason, we'll jump to card number 2 that we jumped to, was the American Express Platinum card. Okay, so the big pro with the Platinum card, well, let's first talk about the big con with this card. Is it is a $695 annual fee to open this card up, and that typically comes on your first statement. You will get that fee tacked on there at some point. So why the heck did we do that? Why would we spend $700 to open a credit card? The big reason here is when you're first starting out your business credit journey, they are going to leverage your personal credit score to give you a credit amount, right? So when they do that, you're always going to have a specific amount. It's probably not going to be enough to sustain several rehabs all at once. I have an excellent credit score, and I only got $35,000 just for perspective with Chase, okay? But American Express, they do not have a credit limit, okay? So I can't explain why or how it works, but they don't, unlike any other credit card, when you get the card, it says, hey, you have your $10,000 credit limit. You can only spend $10,000. American Express doesn't have a limit. All right. I don't know how it works. There's probably some limit. You probably can't just go out and put $5 million on something. But to my knowledge, there's no way to see what that cap is, right? They do have some calculator on here. You can say, hey, I'm going to spend 50,000. Are you going to let this go through? And it'll kind of give you a thumbs up, thumbs down. But I don't know what data they're using to come up with that. So I do have some good friends who have gotten their account up in the couple $100,000s without making a payment, and they said they've gotten calls from American Express just making sure they do have a plan to pay that back. But other than that, we were able to build this card up pretty significantly before we sold these properties, and we're able to pay that back down. So for those two reasons is why we decided on these kind of combination or tag team effect with these cards. And if you are concerned about the annual fee, the $700 annual fee that you get, this is one thing that helps us make this decision and offset that is if you spend $8,000 in the first 6 months, again, super easy to do if you're flipping houses, then you get $80,000 80,000 membership rewards points, not $8,000. Those points can be redeemed for lots of different things. It gets complicated, but from what I found on their online calculators, anywhere from like $500 to $700 themselves. If you redeem for like air travel, you get like 2 times the points. It could be up to like $1,200 worth of points, etc. But ultimately, that will help pay for that annual fee that they will charge you. And if you decide that's too much and you don't want to do that again the next year, then you can go ahead and just cancel the card at that time. But for us, American Express has been great. It's been phenomenal. We've been able to rack that thing up really high on all these rehabs, and then once we sell the property, we pay it all the way back down again and kind of rinse it and repeat that process and use these cards in tandem. But guys, again, I don't get anything. I don't have any affiliates. This is just what worked for us. So I hope you got value out of this video, and if you did, I would appreciate a like, subscribe, or share with someone else who may be considering starting their own flipping business or just looking for business credit in general. I guess for any business, these could be applied to and rolled out. So with that, I hope you guys got something out of this video. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. But with that, I'm Tyler Wayrung, and we'll catch you next time.